Hi guys, thank you very much for being a part of today's class. My name is Chinedu Ibe Obi, and today we'll be looking at how to register a security guard company for private and international NGO contracts in Nigeria. Okay, let's have an overview of what we will be discussing in today's class. The very first key thing that we will have to look is, why is it important to register your company as a private security guard company in Nigeria as against operating it unregistered? Then on the other hand, we will also be looking at what are the legal and financial implications for failing to register your private security guard company in Nigeria. Then the next thing we will be looking at is the government NDAs and also their requirements for the registration of a private security guard company in Nigeria. Then thereafter, we will now look at the challenges applicants may face in the process of registration and also in their operation of the business. Once there is a challenge, there must also be a solution. We will also look at the solution to those challenges. Okay? Now let's look at why it is important to register your private security guard company in Nigeria. The very first reason why you have to register your private security guard company in Nigeria as against operating it as an unregistered entity is that it gives your company legitimacy and credibility, because clients and also potential customers will have trust and will likely engage with a registered company than an unregistered one. So it's better for you to register than operating an unregistered one. And then the next reason why it is important to register is it gives your business an outlook of compliance with all the necessary regulatory requirements, because it is very important that you must obtain all the necessary certifications, licenses and permits that will help you in order to operate your company without any hindrance. Then the next reason why it is very important and key for you to register your private security guard company in Nigeria is that it gives you access to contracts. Because unregistered security companies may miss out in contract opportunities issued by international NGOs and also private individuals, because requests for proposals come out for security guard contracts by international NGOs. So if your company is registered, then you have the ability to benefit from such largesse. And also, registration gives you protection from legal issues. Unless the directors engages in fraud, that's when the corporate veil that covers them will now be lifted, so that the society and also the government will know those who are involved in such fraud. And also, professionalism is what you get when you register your business, because once you are a registered business, it's I know in fact that you have met all the necessary standards and regulation of the industry. So your company will be looked at as a professional body, as a professional corporate entity that has the capacity in order to fulfill its obligations in any contractual obligation. Then the next is it gives you access to funding for your business expansion. Once you are registered, financial institutions will give you a credit facility for you to expand your business. But if you are not registered, nobody would want to risk their money with you. So it's better for you to register than you be operating your corporate entity without registration as a private security guard company in Nigeria. Okay? Then let's look at the legal and also the financial implication of failing to register your private security guard company in Nigeria. And the legal Implication is basically with regards to the Private Guard Companies Act of 1986, which stipulates that all private guard companies in Nigeria must be registered with the Nigerian Securities and Civil Defense Corps (NSCDC), and failure to register with NSCDC attracts fine, and in most situations it leads to the closure of the business, or it can also lead to criminal prosecution of all those involved in operating such an unregistered private security guard company in Nigeria. And also, it leads to limited business opportunity because the company will not be able to bid for contracts that requires registration, and that is where the money is. So if you cannot be able to bid for contracts, then your business opportunities will be greatly limited. And also, if you fail to register, it makes your business lack credibility. Unregistered private security guard companies, they are considered less credible and less legitimate, and nobody will want to work with you. Just like I mentioned earlier, it also leads to limited access to funding. You will not have enough funds to expand your business, which every business needs, because money is the lifeblood of every business. And very unfortunately, if you are not registered, you will be excluded from all industry associations, because most industry associations will only register those who are registered with the NSCDC, who have complied with the provisions of the law. And if you are not part of the industry association, your growth will be limited because you will lack the ability to network with top industry players who will give you an inkling and also an insight on how you can be able to grow in the industry. So it's very important that you have to register so that you will not be caught in all these legal and financial implications. Then let's now look at the government MDAs and also their requirements for registration. Their very first point of call is the Corporate Affairs Commission, because every corporate entity is expected to register with the Corporate Affairs Commission, and the registration is done online. And what you'll be required to do is to fill out the online form, make your payment, your stamp duty payment, and also your filing fee. And once you do that, before you submit, you are expected to furnish the CAC with certain information with regards to the directors, the shareholders, and the secretary. And they are basically their names, their residential addresses, their sex, their age, their nationality, phone number, and email address of the proposed directors, shareholders, and also the secretary of the company. And you must ensure that the share capital of the company is up to 10 million naira. Then the next thing, you have to tell the CAC how you wish to allot the shares amongst the shareholders. And also, the main object of the company must state that the company is in the business of providing security for their clients. So if you fail to capture that, you'll be expected to go back to the Corporate Affairs Commission so that you can make the amendment so that your registration can be completed with the NSCDC. And then the next thing that you have to do is also you have to furnish the Corporate Affairs Commission with the means of IDs of the directors, as well as the shareholders and the secretary of the company, and also you have to indicate the office address of the company. Then, after you have completed your registration with the Corporate Affairs Commission, you have to obtain a tax identification number from the FIRS and also the IRS. And then this number is required for the processing of your tax clearance certificate, which is also a necessity before you can be able to register with the NSCDC. And you will also need your team to file your tax returns. And after that, you'll be expected to register with the Nigerian Social Insurance Trust Fund, because all companies operating in Nigeria are expected to register with the NSITF and make contributions for the welfare of their employees in case they sustain injury in the course of their operations in your company. And thereafter, the management and also the personnel who will be operating the security company must obtain a police clearance certificate to show that they have no criminal record, because no criminal will be tolerated in a security company. It's a no. Then you also have to obtain an insurance cover, and this insurance cover is basically for your personnel and also for the operation of the business. And after you have done that, your next point of call is to apply to the Nigerian Securities and Civil Defense Corps (NSCDC) for your registration. And what you will furnish the NSCDC is your application, which you will now address to the Commandant General. The application will have to state that the company, the share capital of the company is up to 10 million naira, and one of the directors must be a retired military officer or a top-ranking retired police officer. And then all your incorporation documents must be attached, your memorandum and article of association, and also a copy of your certificate of incorporation. Then your tax clearance certificate must be attached, statement of account, letter from an auditor, and also the proposed training program must have to be there. Then the proposed salary structure of your employees must be stated clearly. Then there is what is called the personal history statement form. It costs 100,000 naira, and all your directors must obtain one of them. And also the bank, you must attach a bank reference letter to show that your business is solvent. Then the next thing that you have to do is each of the directors must provide 8 passport photographs each. And then the passport photographs, there must be a fingerprint on each of them, and also it has to be signed in the presence of an NSCDC officer. Then also the photocopy of the signature page of the director's international passport or his national ID card or driver's license must be stapled at the back of the file jacket that houses the file of the company in NSCDC. And also the personal history statement form must be adequately filled by each director. Anywhere that is not applicable, you have to indicate by putting nil or not applicable. Then an attestation letter from the referees of each of the directors must also be presented, and then the uniform sample of the guards, putting on the uniform must be snapped, and then the photograph presented. And the uniform must not resemble any government, paramilitary or military agency or any other private security guard operating presently in Nigeria. The application fee is 500,000 naira. There are 2 categories of licenses that is issued. There are some that you have to have 3,000 guards and above. Then that one costs 3 million naira. That's the approval fee. And also there is one that is you have to have 3,000 guards and below. It costs 2,500,000 naira. That's apart from the 500 application fee that you've already paid. Okay, now let's look at the challenges one might encounter in the process of registration and after registration. And that's basically the bureaucracy involved. It takes time. That's why you have to prepare yourself in case with PRs and also facilitation to make the process more efficient. And also the private guard companies regulation of 2018 states that adequate training should be given. So you have to prepare yourself financially to provide adequate training, and also the equipment must be adequate. You have to provide all the necessary equipment, communication equipment, adequate uniform. So you have to really be prepared financially, and also the high cost of registration, because if you want to complete the process effectively, you should earmark between 5 to 10 million naira. It depends on the business or service company or the law firm that you are using for the process. And also, you really have to face the competition there, because the private security industry in Nigeria is highly competitive, and you really have to equip your marketing department in order to brace up to such challenge. And also, the personnel, inadequate personnel is also a challenge. So you really have to look out for personnel who have no criminal record, and also people who are medically fit. Thank you very much for staying to the end of today's class. For any question or inquiries, you can reach me on the number on the screen. Thank you very much. I really appreciate each and every one. See you in the next class. Bye.